Welcome back to more Hunter x Hunter, where so many people are losing their nerve. Probably rightfully so, considering the vast amount of aura being shoved down their throats and killing intent, at least. But for such a defined hunter such as Nov to completely lose all of his bottle and just, well, decide his new home is in the safe confines of his own little Nen basement, well, at least it shows exactly the courage that Gon and Killer are showing to can not only continue on, but actively go up against one of the ones that are putting out this deadly aura, while the king just continues to play Gungni. But the Chimera ants that are in the palace are slowly being thinned out. Maybe it's all gonna work. Nothing else can go wrong, right? So the selection is coming along nicely, which also means that the time is that the hunters have to intervene and do stuff is rapidly running out. She looks all nice and healthy. Yeah, the king's going to be having some games that are definitely going to push his limits if they carry on. Even if he is to win now, would it be a victory that we would deem acceptable, considering the state that his opponent is in? I mean, we've seen the previous champions in what they did, like with chess and Go and whatnot, but I think he's got more of a personal reason as to have a proper game with this. But also, getting away for the king for the moment, we got a return of Killua and the octopus, so I'm guessing we may have a meeting of sorts with new and old friends. A multitude of things could have made him cry, but I wonder what exactly that was. Half a day's break. There we go. He has a one-track mind at the minute. The fact that he wants to just continue playing Googie. It's not the fact that he has changed his mind in the terms of not wanting to play. It's more he wants it the best that he can have. That probably wouldn't be a good decision on his part if he was to do anything there. Actively having to stop himself. So who is he to step in now? I mean, if the king would never reach his true potential if she's never reach his true potential being one over the rest of the world. I see, this is why the tears were flowing. He is very dutiful towards his king, but now for a ballad of lament. He is quite a performer, even if no one's watching. Oh, they have actually, yeah, cool. And also with I don't know what his name was, being invisible if he holds his breath, not only invisible, unperceivable if he was to hold his breath. Is that going to become pivotal in their plan as well? I mean, I like the chibi style of the king and whatnot, but I think they oversee how strong they are, so I don't think they'd need to go into a defensive formation like that around the king, even if it was a few 100 meters of distance or so. She's in the palace at the minute. Fair enough. She can see other people with a crystal ball, but it's not two-way. A rookie's worry. I mean, what, you have to give up your care for everyone around you, considering. True, would have extracted that information. You've got to have the resolve not only to know that you will die, but also everyone around you is that possibility as well. It would be good to know. It would affect your route of attack. I mean, he's quite straightforward, really. The gun's not built for a tactician. And the thing is, they all have their various reasons for getting into this. Uh, Taking a stroll outside. Also, with certain members like Leo disappearing under a torrent of water, are they gonna, being the royal guards or whatnot, are they gonna start questioning as to why their underlings are starting to disappear again? Or and interrupt their game? Well, just work harder. Yeah, so why is he coming in to interrupt him like this? That would put a bit of a rush on Gon and the others. Don't get him involved in every little thing. He's preoccupied at the minute. The fact that it's not anything the major planning and whatnot has put into action, which is taking his attention or having the king distracted from this selection and whatnot. No, it's just a blind girl. Some of them seem a little more confident in their abilities and their king than others. Acting on his own. I mean, he's done well not leading back to any of his friends and other hunters and the like. So she has quantity as quality. Can only oversee the city and what's going on there, knowing that there's such fascinating battle to be had. You'd hope that they would have noticed. So they'd have to be, extra careful, or are they going to up the processing rate? See, their plan hinges on the fact that the king actually cares about the selection. I don't know that his priorities lie elsewhere, with very little time left. What game number is this? I mean, letting up and allowing it to get away with mistakes isn't too necessary now, considering he is, I hope, improved. But she actively trying to help him get better at the game, be a worthy opponent. She feels weird. She is becoming acutely aware of everything she can do on the board. Already hyper-focused on Gungni, and that's all she had in her life. She's now awakening Nen to it as well. She feels a little tired after exerting energy like this. Write down. That would really help. Yeah. Her memorization on the board of all moves would be extraordinary. Even more so now. I don't think there's anyone else he would be asking. Well, Komogi. The fact that the king has taken an interest in her like this. They're on. Are they going to be on first name basis? True. He might have forced his way out of the queen before he received a name. Yeah, you're right. They only see him as the king, nothing more. He doesn't need a name. That's probably not going to impress him all too much. You're king in title and name and everything else combined. His real name is Brian. There you go, yeah. It is just his station, his title. Fair enough, I like that answer. Yeah. He's not smart enough or wise enough to enter this conversation. Yeah, you're the king. Choose for yourself. Although, considering he's worrying about it now, is he going to be happy with waiting until after the selection? They only knew her as the Gungni player. What an exciting time for him, becoming interested in someone and something outside of just himself. So, what is there an exception for ones with mental abilities? He's having second thoughts. Doesn't have to be in combat alone. I remember that vividly. Could have grown into something. Hmm. Is he? Well, I don't think Poof there has to worry. I don't think it's regret that he's showing. No, he's now getting the power trip that is to be expected of someone of his stature. But so, is he going back to play Gungi anytime soon? He's so happy. He... I mean, there is a certain level of calm when you don't actually have to think about anything. And how would the king react to that? That hurt him more than anything else that has happened today. Now you have to prove it, right? Hey, is he going to be knocked down a peg or two after a few more games? True. There wouldn't be much of a board game left afterwards, but he's saying this, but would he actually be able to bring himself to do it at this point? He's thinking about the next game. That damn bird again. Why exactly was she being... and he's showing immediate care and worry about her. Sure, he can get rid of her whenever he wants, right? Didn't want to cause trouble. Something unknown to himself. What is all of this? I think the first time she has heard those words, her own family is... well, we've heard how she's treated by her own family. I think there was a sentence in there somewhere. To think that such a creature would affect him to this degree, put his entire being into question. I think he hit the crux of it in one sentence, but then moved on. Being able to show strength in one area that isn't just in physical capabilities and power. And I'm not talking about Gungi, the fact that she has managed to continue on despite her life. And managed to remain completely focused in this one aspect, no matter how poorly some people treated her. It would be amusing to have this plan that the Hunter Association, everyone has come up with, completely fall by the wayside because the king just is nothing like their expectations. Wonder how it all changed now. Kind of amusing. If she had a slightly better life, if she was slightly less deficient in so many ways, then the king wouldn't have taken this level of interest. She probably would have been rooted out for selection a long time ago. And by extension, humanity would be in a much more dire place. But the fact that both the Royal Guard's plans about this selection and the Hunter's plans to stop the king in all of this are both becoming a little unraveled because he is had his own heart waver because of a character that I didn't realize until now we hadn't had a name for. Also, considering that the royal guards themselves start to question the king on his resolve, on his feelings, saying, the supreme leader can't ever regret something. All of his decisions must be perfect. It's a lot of weight to have on his shoulders. Not that he really would care about that, but would that mean then whatever whim the king had would then become into effect of this is the way of the world, this is how things should be? I really do wonder what the future few episodes are going to hold for us, because with time running out, with Palm going, radio silent, the fact that they haven't heard anything from him, and the Royal Guards haven't mentioned anything, although if someone was sneaking around the castle, especially if someone on Palm's level, they probably wouldn't even think of it, much less of a bug scurrying around, so probably wouldn't need informing the king. But there's a few interesting little things with Nefertari seeing Morel's smoke puppets, knowing about all of that, and he has less than me, but they're slightly better than my puppets, and he's working alone. That brings me to think that Palm hasn't been captured, at least not to have data extracted. But what else? Is she just laying low? Was she mentally shattered like Nov, or does she have a little more fortitude? I guess a lot of questions swirling in my head surrounding that, and rightfully so. They were bringing up a few times to get you thinking about it. So I think it's only wise to move on to the next episode. And with Hunter x Hunter looking like it is, where we have a lot going on, and like usual with Hunter x Hunter, it subverts our way of thinking. Because we've now gone from, oh no, big evil and king at the beginning of all of this arc, to he doesn't really give a shit about much else other than his newfound flame. And is questioning his entire worldview and where he stands. Where he needs to show his most attention. While also there being thousands of people being slaughtered off screen and turned into soldiers, should they survive. I kinda like how not much emphasis is put on that, knowing that it's there, knowing that it's happening, but not really. I mean, to the Royal Guards and to the King's perspective, it doesn't matter. It's just, it's one of their plans. They're getting it done. The people themselves, it's like cattle, innit? If you enjoyed this episode, let me know. Leave a like and a comment on the video. Consider subscribing. But definitely try and take a break for yourselves. Don't want you collapsing. We have a game or two to play yet. So I'll see you for the next one. Should I find a time where I'm confused and want to rename myself, I think I can rely on my patrons to give me some solid advice and not just choose amongst themselves to call me Danielle. So I need to thank Noku, Raywin, Sal, Shiwan, Mats, Akni, Guado, Danny Sweet, Croyville, Kite, Diego Zenhausen, Ranka, Lightwizard91, Tori Jane, SZ9870, Maxwell, the Kebab Seller, and everyone else. Maybe I should just have the title of Almighty King. Would make things interesting.